The dark truth behind the glamorous appearance of Sheikha Moza. Sheikha Moza is often called the most elegant woman in the world and the actual ruler of Qatar. She is incredibly rich and influential in the Middle East and a style icon. However, there is a cruel truth behind the beautiful glamorous face. Sheikha Moza is the First Lady of Qatar. Her husband Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, who was the ruler of Qatar from 1985 until 2013. Since then, the country has been ruled by Moza's middle son Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. However, gossip says that the country is ruled by Sheikha Moza, who has concentrated all power in the region in her hands. The Arab lady is called not only one of the most influential but also one of the most elegant women in the world. She loves fashion and wears exquisite outfits from world designers, unlike many other Arab women who wear a black abaya and remain in the shadow of their husbands. Sheikha Moza leads an active social life. She performs on significant global platforms and attends many events with her husband. She also wears bright unusual outfits emphasizing her thin waist and showing off expensive jewelry instead of hijab. She usually wears an elegant turban and each of her publications becomes a whole event in the fashion world. For some people, Sheikha Moza is a role model, the personification of the new woman in the Arab world who actively appears in public and changes the world. However, the Sheikha is also severely criticized and called the stylish face of the ultra-conservative regime. After all, the situation of most women in Qatar remains difficult. They cannot take a step without their guardian's permission. Against this background, the bright figure of Sheikha Moza in the eyes of Western countries is highly controversial. Is she an influential woman who has concentrated all power in the country, or just to pop it in the hands of other men in her family who wants to make Qatar more attractive to Western partners? She was born in the Qatari town of Al Khor in 1959. Her father was a prominent businessman and politician who was arrested for criticizing the government. He had to spend several years in prison, and after his release, the whole family had to flee the country and to live in exile in Kuwait and Egypt. Moza received a good education. She dreamed of becoming a doctor but graduated from Qatar University, where she earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology. After that, she earned a Master's in Public Policy in Islam from Hamad bin Khalifa University. She also received several doctoral degrees, including from American universities. She didn't interrupt her studies even after marriage. When she was 18, she became the wife of a member of the royal family of Qatar, Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. It was hardly a love match, and likely it was just a bargain for both families, especially for Moza's family. Today the fortune of the royal family of Qatar is about $335 billion. The family invests in several properties worldwide, including London's short skyscraper, Olympic Village Harris, department store, and New York's Empire State Building. The royals also hold investments in British Airways and Volkswagen. The fortune of Sheikha Moza alone is estimated at $15 billion. She would never regret it, even if it was not a marriage of love. After all, thanks to this relationship, she became incredibly rich and influential. However, during the marriage, the Sheikha had to put up with one not very pleasant fact. She had to come to terms with the position of the second wife and share her husband with another woman. Sheikh Hamad first married a few years before he met Moza. His first wife was his first cousin Sheikha Mariam, the daughter of his paternal uncle. However, the fact that the first wife gave birth to 8 children to the Sheikh suggests that this marriage was quite successful. Sheikha Moza gave birth to 7 children in this marriage, 5 sons and 2 daughters. Hamad became the father of 15 children. However, despite the position of the second wife, Moza was able to get a special place in the heart of her husband. While his first wife remained in the shadow and didn't leave the palace, Moza took up an active social life and became a co-founder and chairperson of the Qatar Foundation. She received the unspoken title of First Lady of Qatar. She accompanied her husband at all events and became a real star. The influence of Sheikha Moza began to overgrow. Perhaps it was thanks to the support of his wife that Hamad carried out a bloodless coup in Qatar in 1995 and moved his father from the post of emir. He gained immense power and made Qatar the most prosperous country in the world through natural gas production. In the early 90s, Sheikha Moza appeared frequently on television and was a prominent figure. First she dealt with education and science issues and attended world conferences. A bright intelligent Arab woman in fashionable outfits created the image of a modern country for Qatar in the eyes of Western partners. From the outside it seemed that Qatar could become a more liberal country where women would soon receive more rights and freedom. However, no one guessed what was happening in the Moza's family and what position she occupied in her own marriage. At that moment, when Moza gave birth to 7 children and began to devote herself to the affairs of public life, Hamad decided to marry for the 3rd time. His new wife was Sheikha Noura, again his first cousin, the daughter of his paternal uncle Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Thani, who was the interior minister. Why the no longer young emir of Qatar, who had 2 wives and 15 children, needed to marry a 3rd time, no one knows. Gossip believes that in this way, he decided to indicate her place to Sheikha Moza, who had become too influential, and demonstrate his power. However, she never shows her true feelings. Moza and her husband look like a very happy and tender couple in public.